Hi, I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. Thank you for joining our YouTube today. We are a nonprofit organization, and the reason I have these YouTubes are to reach out to an audience of dyslexic parents, and parents who have dyslexic children, and then parents who are dyslexic. And also the people I have on my YouTube are dyslexic adults and dyslexic parents of children. And today I have a very special guest because I'm going to introduce you to one of my tutors. So we really want to inspire you, encourage you that you're not alone in your situation with your dyslexic children. And we want to empower you. So the more knowledge you have, the more successful of an advocate you can be for your child. So Emma is one of my interns from Citrus College, soon to be going to Laverne. And come on board, Emma.
Hi.
Hi, introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Emma Cossey. I'm in my second year at Citrus College, and I've been tutoring with Marianne now for, I'd say, like 7-8 months now. Yeah, and I really enjoy it.
So what we do, because we're a nonprofit, we received a grant to work with some children in the low-income school district by us. And Emma has been a wonderful tutor to work with some of these children. It's been a lot of challenges because we've had internet downfalls, we've had COVID, of course. So Emma likes meeting face-to-face with the students, but I'm going to let her share with you some of the highlights of her experiences tutoring with our kiddos.
Oh, well, the first highlight is it's actually really nice to see that they get excited to do these tutoring sessions, because these children being in Zoom for so long and not really being around people, it actually made me excited as a tutor because I was a little bit nervous, meeting them and wanting them to be excited to be a part of it. And thankfully, they come in already excited. So it's pretty nice. They're all hardworking, I've noticed. They really enjoy how the steps progress and all the activities that we tend to do, as well as the worksheets. I have not had a student go home unhappy.
Well, what I want the audience to know is that my reading program is a 9-step reading program. Mm-hmm. It can be taught to college kids. It can be taught to retired teachers, substitute teachers. Instead of having you pay $40,000 and go to a university and get a special certification, and the kids that we're working with aren't diagnosed as dyslexic, but they do have those 3 eligibility requirements: mm-hmm. high intelligence, low academic achievement, and low phonological awareness. So talk about the progress you're seeing with your students, Emma.
So on average, the students that I have, they tend to be ones that have they only know their sounds and their letters. They haven't really learned their words yet. And I found that even within I'd say like 2.5 weeks of having like 3 sessions a week, we're starting to learn like basic words pretty quickly. And I found that they tell their parents that they're feeling much more motivated, that they're looking like now, they used to just refuse to read. Now they're trying their best to read street signs, to read the cover of books. They're just trying to read different things. So I'd say I've definitely been noticing a lot of progress, and they tend to progress pretty quickly. I haven't really had too many people that are too, having issues.
The first student we received was from one school in the big district, whereas the other students are all from a whole other school. Mm-hmm. But this first student that Emma worked with was with us 25 sessions, and she made a whole year's growth in reading comprehension. Mm-hmm. And the audience needs to know that's only 25 sessions. So
and it was very fast, like only 2 months of work, and she was able to progress that far.
Mm-hmm. That's really neat. And you're adapting so well. I know if you haven't tutored before, Emma says she's tutored high school, but if you haven't tutored before, it could be kind of overwhelming for people. So it almost feels, so you have education in your family.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost ingrained in you. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of in your wheelhouse, as we would say it. So
yeah,
there's people who just blend in with this really easily. It's just so passionate for me to share that while I'm getting certified in Orton Gillingham, that's not for everybody. I mean, but learning to use a multisensory reading approach is key, right?
Oh, definitely. And anyone could learn this program and be able to teach it and really see the rewards that it comes with, because each step is so planned out and it's very repetitive that you can't help but learn something from it.
I've even had parents sitting with their child and watching the child learn, and they're learning along with them. I've had somebody describe a scenario to me, and they said, if you had a sore back, would your first move be to go to a chiropractor? It wouldn't be, right? It might be to do some stretches, take a Tylenol. And so kids who are struggling with reading, the first move isn't to go into one of these very expensive reading intervention programs. They could come to me. I would like to consider myself the Tylenol, Tylenol for reading. But if they could spend 25 sessions with us and make that gain of 1 to 3 years gains in only 25 to 30 sessions, they could learn to break that code. And then if you want to get them in the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year long intervention programs, there's a lot of programs out there that have been around for decades, but my program is very fresh and new. And the neat thing we do is we use music with phonics. And when I discovered music, to me, that was the missing link. Now, not all students want to use the music, but did all your students use music, Emma?
Oh, they did. Now, this kind of falls back on the same as having some connection issues to where we weren't able to do it every single time, but we tried to get it in as much as possible, and they really enjoyed it. It was something different. It was new. Yeah, and I would say it's definitely a thing that works.
Yeah. So what we do is we play classical music in the left ear, and the spelling exercises are in the right ear. So that's the 9th step of a 9-step reading program. Now, when I am being in my practicum, when I do a lesson plan for Orton Gillingham, there's 14 steps. And, Emma, I think about you trying to learn that, you would probably throw your hands up and say, forget this, way too much, because I've even felt that. And here with 2 masters and my doctorate, I'm like, this is really a lot of work. It's very effective, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep, and it's a lot of wrap up. Whereas my reading program just flows from day.
Oh, it really does.
Start the next day. Have you found filling out your lesson plan is pretty easy?
Oh, definitely. I can plan in advance. I like that everything in my booklet has everything, like each day could be planned out as long as you're following the same steps. And if anything was to ever deviate, if like a student was falling behind or anything like that, I feel like the program is very, it still works, even if with those issues.
Well, and because every child works at their own pace, Emma has seen different students move at a rapid pace, at a slower pace, needing more review. And she just got 3 of our last students for this grant that we have. And she has a 4th grader, a 5th grader, and a 1st grader. So I'm just so excited because our 5th graders have 2 books. They have a phonics book and a writing book. But because the 4th grader that she has is really bright, we're giving her the same curriculum that the 5th grader is using. And then the 1st grader will use the 1st through 4th grade curriculum. But you're going to just be so excited to see, the different levels and how they do grow at their own pace. Try to work one-on-one with students. In the summer, we might be open to doubling up students if they have a friend that's at the same pace at them as they are that wants to work together in a summer school program. So you miss your students that you've already graduated, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do.
You've really bonded. They've really connected with you.
Oh yeah, I had one that was really, really shy, and I just found that I was really looking up techniques of how to like really bring her out of her shell. So was I found a stuffed animal that I was coming up with cute names that, because she was so shy and so quiet, this little stuffed animal had a hearing problem. So now you just need to read louder to him so he could actually hear. So it's just finding you can tell when the child's having a good time or not a good time. And it's really good just to try and make sure that they're having the best time possible.
I'm so
Mhm.
glad, and like I said, the biggest challenge we've had is because of the internet. The
Mhm.
connections weren't working, but Emma was really good to reschedule those kinds of sessions. And
Oh yeah.
when the students come to us, they work out a schedule with the tutors and themselves. And school's going to be wrapping up pretty soon. So, because it's a grant, they unfortunately aren't going to be continuing. But we'd like to talk to the schools to see if they can use discretionary funds to help some of these kids continue or to help some of their other struggling readers. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we sign out?
As great as this program is for dyslexia, I found that you're right, that this program can really help anyone learn how to read. It really goes in depth on all the sounds, with all the exercises. It's so repetitive that you just really cannot help but learn. And I've just found that these kids, they really like it. When they're excited about the music, they're excited about the activities that we do. It's very hands-on. And I'm glad to be a part of it.
What's so fun with the curriculum is kids are often misplacing the letters in their words. Like if there's an L in a word, look out because that L is going to be in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
And even 3-letter words, they're going to want to put the vowel at the end. So there's a lot of auditory and visual discrimination exercises. We'll turn 3-letter words into the 4-letter words with a vowel consonant E. Cap becomes cape. Mape isn't a word, but words like the 3-letter words can turn into 4-letter words, and the student sees that all at once, and they're like, wow, there's a lot of aha moments.
Oh
Not,
yeah.
not just
And
for the
with
student, but the tutor.
oh yeah, and thankfully with English having so many rules, thankfully you can just follow them and get to the result that you need.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of scaffolds. If students aren't able to follow with the spelling exercise, with the music, we have different kind of pages, how they can do their spelling test, where we provide the beginning sound or we provide the ending sound. But there's a lot of phonemic awareness activities that we just make simplified. And it's all following the model of Orton Gillingham. So you can rest assured that your child is getting that Orton Gillingham multisensory approach. And what Emma's talking about is it's repetitive. So we want it to be cumulative. So it's not only structured and systematic and sequential, which lets the child anticipate the next step. It's also cumulative. So they bring in what they've already learned. How did you like the workbook? Because a lot of programs don't use workbooks.
I like it. It goes in order of the program that you like, whatever you're working on, the steps that you're following, the workbook, like it falls in line with it. So thankfully each lesson, it works perfect. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue tied. The workbooks are great is what I'm trying to say.
It's really interesting because you're like, wow, I'm so glad it flowed like that. This is what we studied and this is what the workbook is.
Oh yeah, and there are activities that are you're able to follow along. There's nothing that's confusing is what's nice.
And the students really enjoy it. And then I just want to share one last thing, that we do have a good writing component that's more for the 5th graders and older, because we have that second workbook. We call it, the writing tricks for the 5th grade and 12th through 12th grade. But all right, so I just want to introduce you to Emma. I'm so glad you got to meet her. I have some other tutors that I will eventually have on for some of my interviews. But thank you, Emma.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And I want to thank the audience for tuning in. If what we have shared has inspired you, reach out to me on dyslexia-solutions.com and inquire about our reading program. I have 6 training videos that you can also purchase, and we can do it for you, or you can do it on your own, or you can do it with our help. So let me help you help your child. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks.